When you're measuring crime, you measure it by the foot. Here's a look at the new NECA toys, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and this is the Cartoon Foot Soldiers 2-pack. After being accidentally exposed to radioactive ooze, 4 ordinary household pets are transformed into a band of wise-cracking, pizza-loving, villain-dicing adolescent reptiles. Meet Leonardo, the super-cool, sword-wielding leader, Raphael, the jokester, hurling manholes and one-liners in rapid succession, Donatello, the brain behind the brawn, and Michelangelo, the ice-cream pizza-gobbling party animal. Whether it's facing fierce enemies or saving humanity from near extinction, with the guidance of their sensei, these heroes in a half-shell are always ready for straight out of the sewer action. Okay, Turtle fans, let's get another review for the books. The first thing we're going to do is the first thing we always do on this channel. We're going to first figure out how tall the figures stand. For obvious reasons, you can probably see that I'm not going to measure both of them. That would be crazy talk. There's no crazy talk happening on this channel. No way. What I am going to do, however, is I'm going to measure one of them, and then you can pretty much assume that the other figure is going to be exactly that same height. After all, they are the same figure. The either foot soldier stands 6.6 inches in height, and that in centimeters works out to be just a little under 17 centimeters tall. Let's go ahead and get some size comparisons underway. There is Bebop. Dang, love those figures. And here's Rocksteady. We've already had a look at these ones. By the way, if any of these do seem perplexing to you, I don't remember seeing a review of these. Check out the channel. You'll see the other stuff that I've reviewed up to this point. Here are the other cartoon turtles that we've already had a look at. There's Michelangelo. We're going to fill this out rather quickly. There's Donatello. And see who else we have making personal visits here. Here's Raphael. You can't quite see him. I'm going to try to free up some space on either side. There we go. And then of course, in the middle, we've got ourselves Shredder. I was hoping at the very least I could have Krang all prepared for this, but I'm not really sure where I put Krang. He's somewhere around here, take my word for it. But there are all the turtle figures that we've had up to this point to look at. And keeping in mind as well, this is a Foot Soldier 2-pack. Oh, I didn't mean to startle you with my fingers. So technically, we've already gotten these figures before, but with these being army builders and for certainly the number of foot soldiers that we've had in the episodes getting destroyed, you can never have really enough foot soldiers as part of your army. There's some other size comparisons, just in case you thought that these were different figures from the ones that were released before. The foot soldier here, at least, are the exact same figures packed before. You got one foot soldier with, I believe, Michelangelo, and one foot soldier with Raph. So if you had collected those sets before, you then ultimately would have had 2 foot soldiers. That's simple math, isn't it? Well, this benefits from the fact that you now can have 2 extra foot soldiers as part of your army, giving you a total of 4. And you could stop there, of course. Or for individuals like myself, you may probably want to source out and grab a couple more of these 2-packs. And really see if you can build up a really cool diorama with multiple foot soldiers fighting the turtles. I'm guessing, and we'll probably have a look at the accessories first and foremost. A lot of these accessories may seem rather familiar to you. Well, they are. These are the same laser blasters that we've got packaged before with the other Foot Soldier 2-packs or the Foot Soldier Turtle 2-packs. They also so happen to be the same blasters that came with Rocksteady and Bebop. Now again, you may say that, hey, wait a minute, why are they packing such simple, lazy fill-ins? But really, when you think about it, the military, for certainly the armory that they're pulling from in Dimension X, they pretty much use these same blasters throughout most, if not all, the series. Anytime there was a foot soldier, they generally had these, or they had other weapons in their arsenal. So of course it makes perfect sense that NECA Toys would include the exact same weapons from all the subsequent 2-packs that we've had a look at. Spending some time, I feel, talking already about this. We're not going to talk too much about these, other than the fact that they are really quite cool. This is done in almost like a purplish tinted white. It's not quite a solid white. very exquisitely detailed, done with the panel outlining that you would expect from the cartoon. So very, very cool. You get also this one, which I think harks back more so to, I think it was also in the series, but I really feel as well this was a hark back to the Playmates foot soldier that I think had a very similar weapon to this. This is done quite a contrast of different colors versus the one that we already had a look at. This is done in a darker gray color scheme. And again, these were packaged. This one was packaged as well with one of the foot soldiers that came with one of the turtles. So you get that one as well. The other weapon is this one right here. And again, I just happen to have, there it is right there, one of the ones that came with Rocksteady and or Bebop, depending on which one you wanted to display them with. Yes, in fact, the exact same blaster. Okay with that. Okay, definitely with the idea that we're getting more of the same. After all, you don't want to have the idea of getting exclusive accessories for each of these figures, because really at the end of the day, they all kind of have the exact same weapons in the show anyways. Then you kind of beeline your attention, drawing your vision over here. They have a series of interchangeable hands as well. I'll have to apologize in advance. I did swap out one of the hands on either one of the sockets, that one, and that one right there. Swapped them out for some gripping hands. Now, being that these are the exact same foot soldiers, it really doesn't matter which hands you decide to put on which sockets. Just deciding, of course, at the end of the day, which ones you want to have wielding weapons. But they do have a series of gripping hands, so I've already popped off the fisted hands. Somebody said, why would you call them fisted hands if they're just fists? Well, I don't know. I don't know. They are fists. I've already pulled those off. And swapping that out, you get a series of like gripping hands. I've got one there. I've got one there. And I guess in series, I mean, really, if you pulled both of those off, you would have one on either side. It kind of seems to be strange to work like that, doesn't it? And then you also have another pair of gripping hands, ideal for holding the weapons. Some karate chopping action, sure, why not? You get a pair of those for each one of the foot soldiers. You get this pair right here. And then just in case you missed that pair, there's another pair for you to check out. You can see right there. Very intricate details for the fact that these are robots after all. And I'm not just talking about necessarily the characters from the cartoon, but the fact that NECA Toys would sculpt things like fingernails. I'm really would have to go back and watch the show again, like I need a reason to watch the old vintage cartoon again. But I didn't realize the foot soldiers had fingernails. I guess it would make sense. I mean, am I questioning the idea that these characters would have fingernails? Maybe, I don't know. But those are the interchangeable hand options that you get included with the figures. We'll move all those out of the way because, of course, we want to focus our attentions on the foot soldiers. I'll make some further apologies. I'm obviously not going to have a look at both of these one after the other because at the end of the day, they are the exact same figure. Right down to the fact that the shading seems represented in the exact same places. It doesn't look like even the shoulder shading on both seems to be exactly the same. So it doesn't seem like it's a randomizing paint effect. It seems consistent across with every single foot soldier that comes off the assembly line. It'd be really, really cool if they came off the assembly line like this, like soldiers getting ready for battle. The foot soldiers are very, very cool. Looking like they were taken from the cartoon. I was actually, funny enough, short enough story. I'm not going to bore you with this long-winded story coming from this older collector of toys. But foot soldiers were one of the earliest army building figures that I think I've ever collected. I picked up one, and then with my newspaper route, I think I might have picked up a second one a few days later. I think I might have even picked up another one if opportunity had presented itself. But at the end of the day, like, I was really happy the fact I had 2 foot soldiers. And that was really crazy, the idea of going back into a toy store. Imagining as a kid having money in front of you and you see strong contenders in front of you for figures that you could pick up that you don't already have in your collection. I beelined this. It was kind of more like a minus sign than anything else. I minus signed my way across the pegs, avoiding this one, avoiding this one, avoiding this one, until I grabbed another foot soldier. Crazy, I know. I think even my father had even said, "Don't you already own that toy?" I said, "Dad, you have no idea what's going on." And to this day, I'm sure he still doesn't know what's really going on. For the figure itself, you've got the elongated, kind of peanut-shaped head, with, of course, the trademark stamping of the foot on the top there. The yellow trademark eyes are very nicely done. I like that they've added these bold panel lines, specifically to the foot soldiers, but not exclusive to the foot soldiers. But I just say specifically to the foot soldiers because it does bring a lot of those little wrinkled details to the face and the area around. I don't know really what you would call this. It's not necessarily, I guess it's really still part of their mask. But the shouldered sections also do have the little wrinkles folded and represented by basically all where the fabric would naturally kind of bunch up. Natural fabric sculpting happens here in the torso section. They've got the sashed belt continuing down to, I guess, the end of their tunic. And this is done in a soft plastic. Purple in the legs with some additional shading down the back of the legs. The only jarring part to these figures is the continued trend that both them and Rocksteady and Bebop had the additional shading. Pretty much like, I mean, you could see the light source coming this way here. This is like old Art 101. So basically all the back section here that wouldn't have exposure to sunlight would be represented here in a darker color. That's how art works. You just learn something just like that. So the shading is represented on the back there. The cartoon turtles that we recently had a look at in the 2-packs don't have this shading. It's not really something that's going to break the bank for me. At the end of the day, I'm just thrilled for the fact that we get ourselves more chances to pick up foot soldiers. The wrapped off boots that they also sport down below. And speaking of sporting down below, sporting underneath their soles are 2 peg holes that you can, of course, stick them onto a display stand if you wanted to. Spending, of course, I feel like such a fair bit of time actually talking about them the first go-around. I simply wasn't going to rush through a review like this because at the end of the day, these are really neat-looking figures. Neat for the fact that we've already gotten before, yes, but also neat for the fact that with a foot soldier like this, you certainly would want to get more of these. I know I would. The thing that really is missing now at this point is rock soldiers. Specifically, one of my all-time favorite Ninja Turtle cartoons, really revolving around the idea of having armies with them, was the one where I think they were at the Niagara Falls and they were trying to control the power and channel the power to the Technodrome. And Krang had sent down armies of rock soldiers and foot soldiers to protect, I think it was like a dam or something along those lines. It was a great opportunity to kind of see soldiers being dropped down and walking along with Shredder, Rocksteady, and Bebop. That was kind of like my ankling, the itch that I got where I'm like, I really want to get more of these foot soldiers. And now, fast forward our way through, now to an adult. Didn't mean to alarm you there. Now, as an adult, I certainly can pick up more of these, and I think I probably will be picking up more of these. For the articulation on these guys, the heads rotate differently in the sense that they are ball jointed, but the ball joint happens up here or over here, not on the top. As a result of this, old peanut head rotates all the way around, but it rotates, of course, with the ball joint going this way. You can still angle the head up and down. That looks rather awkward, doesn't it? The arms hinge outward. You can rotate them all the way around if you wanted to. Well, almost all the way around. Really, you do struggle when you get to the shoulder section where a lot of it is telling you, you need to stop. Don't get so aggressive with the articulation. Because when you start moving and hitting that shoulder, you really feel like you're fighting against it. And the last thing you certainly would want to do is break the arm off. Swivel at the bicep. Not only a single hinge, but a double hinge on the elbows. And that goes for this guy here. I'm looking right at you. Foot Soldier 4. Spending some time looking at Foot Soldier 2, but it's the exact same on both. Swivel on the hands back and forth. You can also hinge them back and forth. Both the Foot Soldiers also have a swivel in the waist. The legs split out quite generously for the fact that this is also soft plastic. If this was a denser plastic, you probably wouldn't be able to pull off literally a splits with the Foot Soldier. Forward on the back, forward and the back, forward and the back, forward and the back. That sounds like a song. Forward and the back. On the legs. Nothing specifically swiveling happening, a little bit here, but maybe it's, there we go. Satisfying crack. And that's the kind of crack that you could really, well, at least it harks to the fact that you can now swivel the thigh. One leg would work, but there we go. Just had to loosen that up a little bit. Double hinge happening on the knee, swivel on the foot, and that hinges up and down with toe articulation as well. I don't feel like this could be the end of foot soldiers being released by the folks over at NECA Toys. Ideally, and this is just a thought that I'm throwing out here, and far be it from me to dictate toy design. After all, I'm just a humbled reviewer. But personally speaking, I would love to see these soldiers get released again with swappable parts. Imagine, if you will, you could pull arms, legs off. Maybe legs might be a little bit more difficult. But pulling off heads and pulling off arms for damaged versions of those parts, I think it would definitely be the way to get a little bit more stretching and mileage from these molds. NECA Toys obviously want to get as much bang for their buck out of the molds that they produce, so I think the idea of giving us battle-damaged versions of foot soldiers should definitely be something I think the company could consider doing. Figure 2-packs like this really do cater to the young and the old. Although I do feel like sets like the foot soldiers may cater a little bit more to the older crowd than maybe to the younger. Kids will speak Ninja Turtle, I mean, no matter their age anyways, but I think the younger kids are probably going to be jumped closer to getting the turtle packs because after all, they're Ninja Turtles. Even if they don't recognize that specific look of turtle, they most definitely know that it's a Ninja Turtle, and everybody knows a Leonardo and a Donatello, a Michelangelo and a Raphael, no matter what cartoon age they come from, what time period of turtle, if you will, those characters come from. Foot soldiers may be a harder sell. After all, a kid, likes variety. Picking up a 2-pack of having characters look exactly the same may be a bit of a harder sell for younger kids to want to pick up, especially if it's based on characters like the foot soldiers that don't look like any of the stuff that they're seeing nowadays on the newer cartoons of the Ninja Turtles. This definitely is a set I feel moves a little bit closer to the adult collector, people like me, people that have grown up watching the vintage cartoon of Ninja Turtles and now can kind of relive their youth by picking up sets like this. Maybe the other older sets, the 2-packs that featured the turtle and the foot soldier, would have been an easier sell from a retail standpoint, because after all, kids would recognize a turtle, and then you've got this purple guy that goes along with it. They would probably have to ask their dad, who is this purple guy? Oh, it's a foot soldier, honey. Oh, okay. And then they'll probably still want it for the turtle. But these sets, I think, definitely are catering more toward the adult collector, and there's nothing really wrong with that at all. There's adult collectors that love Ninja Turtles. I'm including myself in the mix as well. Getting the 2-packs initially that we had gotten before with the foot soldier and the turtle was a blessing, but did cause one problem. I ultimately wanted to get more of these, and at the end of the day, as much as I like the idea of seeing the turtles done in plastic, the idea of picking up yet another Raphael and another Michelangelo simply just to get other foot soldiers really didn't seem like a great idea for me or my wallet. At least with the 2-packs, I get the benefit of stocking up as many of the foot soldiers as I really want. It's really up to you and your wallet to decide how many of these you actually want to add in your collection. And the fact that you don't have to take really only half of the pack, maybe with an extra Michelangelo and extra Raphael sitting around. At the end of the day, this one really is a great set because you can get as many foot soldiers as you want. And there's really nothing stopping you other than perhaps maybe somebody that you're living with that is like, don't you already have that 2-pack? Yeah. Anyways, one thing that definitely would branch that idea off further is with the whole idea of army building. Once again, if NECA Toys really is opening to the idea of maybe giving us more foot soldiers, I would love to see damaged foot soldier 2-packs with swappable parts that could go with either one of the foot soldiers. Why not? They got the mold anyways. I think that makes perfect logic. Also, speaking of army building, I would love to see eventually we do kind of get a glance at the rock soldiers. I think we've seen some glimpses of the figures from various different cons. I'd love to see a 2-pack that includes the rock soldiers as well. Then we can really start talking about controlling the power from Niagara Falls. I think it was Niagara Falls. I'm going to have to go back and watch that episode again. Yeah, twists my rubber arm. If you manage to pick up these sets for yourself, let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think. Or if perhaps you don't have a chance yet to find these foot soldiers in stores, by all means, based on the previous foot soldier that we had a look at that came with the 2 turtles, Michelangelo and Raphael once again, let me know down below if you managed to pick up those and what you think of the foot soldiers. After all, it's the exact same figure as what we had before. Either way, today we were having a look thanks to the folks, by the way, at NECA Toys. I want to also send out a big thank you to them for really making all of these reviews very possible in the first place. But today we were having a look at the cartoon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Foot Soldier 2-pack. Make sure you've hit the subscribe button on this channel, friends and colleagues of the mob. And periodically, you know, one thing that you can certainly do, if you feel like you're missing out on the content that's coming onto this channel, maybe you feel like it's been a while since you saw the last video that I put out, it's a good chance I'm still putting them out there. Best advice I would say is when you're finished this video, head on over to the home page. Just kind of get a gander, just kind of traverse your way through the various thumbnails and see if there's anything that you may have missed along the way. YouTube, of course, is going to be changing drastically at the beginning of 2020. So again, not knowing fully what the landscape is going to look like, the best way to be preventative in all of this is making sure that you guys, at the very least, are being able to see every single thing that I'm putting out there. So again, check out the home page when you're really finished any one of these videos and see if there's anything you may have missed along the way. Always like seeing new comments in older videos, so feel free to check out the catalog of reviews on this channel. I just realized how long-winded the final looks were here on the foot soldiers. I'm so sorry for that. So very sorry. Old bean. Anyways, stay tuned, my friends. There's certainly going to be a whole bunch of reviews still coming your way. Got a whole bunch of NECA goodies. I'm not going to tell you what they are. No, I'm not going to tell you. I thought about it. No, I'm not going to. You're just going to have to wait and find out. But I can tell you there's definitely going to be a whole bunch of stuff coming your way. So keep your peepers peeled and stay tuned for new content that's coming onto this channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.